Class 11th, subject physics, 9th chapter, optics. From this chapter, let us see the introduction of this chapter. Optics is the term which is used for science of light. In optics, we study the nature of light, the phenomenon of light, and some of the optical instruments or the materials such as lenses, mirrors, prisms, microscope, telescope, etc. Now, let us see what is the actual nature of light. The different theories describe different nature of light, and these are as follows. Light was considered to be that form of radiant energy which makes objects visible due to stimulation of the retina of the eye. The light was considered as electromagnetic waves later. By using quantum theory of particle nature of light was established. According to this theory, photons are energy carrier particles. Photons are considered as the energy carrier particles, and thus the light consists of energy carrier photons guided by the rules of electromagnetic waves. According to spectral theory of relativity, the maximum speed of any object is equal to speed of these photons, that is speed of the light, which is taken as c equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So speed of light is c equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. The phenomenon of light are then classified into three groups. So there are three different groups related with the phenomenon of the light, and these are the ray optics or geometrical optics, wave optics or physical optics, and the particle nature of light. Let us see this phenomenon one by one. So let us consider first one, that is ray optics or geometrical optics. A particular direction of propagation of energy from a source of light is called as ray of light. A particular direction of propagation of energy from a source of light is called as the ray of light. The ray optics is used to explain the phenomenon of light such as reflection, refraction, double refraction, total internal reflection, etc. Now let us consider the second, that is wave optics or physical optics. For explaining the phenomenon of light such as interference, diffraction, polarization, Doppler effect, etc., light energy is to be considered in the form of electromagnetic waves. Then consider third one, that is particle nature of light. The phenomenon of light such as photoelectric effect, Compton effect, emission of spectral lines cannot be explained by wave theory. For such phenomenon, we have to use quantum nature of light. So quantum nature of light will be considered to explain such type of phenomena. And now let us see again in detail the ray optics or geometrical optics. This ray optics or geometrical optics is based upon four fundamental laws, and these laws are first one, that is rectilinear propagation through homogeneous and isotropic medium. That is, the light travels along a straight line path. The light propagates along a straight line path through the homogeneous and isotropic medium. Now the homogeneous term means that the properties of light will be the same everywhere throughout the medium, and the isotropic means the properties of light will be same in all directions. So homogeneous means the properties of light will be same everywhere throughout the medium, and isotropic means the properties of light will be same in all directions. The second is the interaction between two or more rays. So two or more rays can interact at a point, can meet at a point without affecting their paths beyond that point. That means when there is interaction between two or more than two rays at any point, then beyond that point its path will not get affected along the same direction the rays of light will travel. Third is laws of reflection. Laws of reflection. The bouncing back of ray of light in the same medium is called as reflection, and its laws are: first, reflected ray lie in the same plane formed by the incident ray and normal drawn at the point of incidence, and the two rays, that is incident ray and reflected ray, are on either side of the normal. Second law is angle of incidence and reflection are equal. So in this case, the first diagram will represent, this is the reflecting surface, the upper side of this surface will be reflecting. Then Mn is the normal drawn at this point N to that surface, that is the perpendicular. Then An represents the incident ray. After reflection, it will travel along NB. At that time, the angle between incident ray and normal, that is angle of incidence, and the angle between reflected ray and normal is angle of reflection. So according to the laws of reflection here, the incident ray, normal and reflected ray will be lying in the same plane. Similarly, the incident ray and this reflected ray will lie on either side of this normal. Similarly, angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection, that is angle I equal to angle R. Then go for next, that is laws of refraction. So change in direction of ray of light when it passes from one transparent medium to another transparent medium is called as refraction. Now let us see the laws of refraction, and these are the refracted ray. First one, that is refracted ray, lies in the same plane formed by the incident ray and the normal drawn at the point of incidence, and the two rays, that is incident ray and refracted ray, are on either sides of the normal. Second law, the angle of incidence and angle of refraction are related by Snell's law, given as n1 sin theta 1 equal to n2 sin theta 2, or n1 by n2 equal to sin theta 2 upon sin theta 1. So this will be explained with the help of this diagram. So this second diagram represents, this is the boundary of the refracting medium. It will divide the medium into two parts. Above this boundary there will be one transparent medium having refractive index n1. Below it there is second medium having refractive index n2. Then Mn is the normal drawn to that boundary. This AB ray is the incident ray. It is traveling through the first medium. After refraction, it will enter into the second medium, and therefore there will be change in path of that ray of light depending upon the nature of the second medium, and hence in this case also the incident ray, refracted ray and normal will lie in the same plane. Similarly, incident ray and refracted ray will lie on either side of the normal. Similarly, here the angle of incidence is equal to here theta 1, angle of refraction is theta 2, and they are related by Snell's law, which is given as n1 sin theta 1 equal to n2 sin theta 2, or this will be n1 upon this n2 equal to sin theta 2 upon sin theta 1. So like this the laws of refraction will be obeyed here. Now let us go for next point, that is the Cartesian sign conventions. So Cartesian sign conventions will be very important in the study of optics. While dealing with the ray optics, to derive the formula or to use the formula, it is necessary to use some proper sign conventions. So thus the object distance u, the image distance phi, and the focal length of the lens or mirror f may be positive or negative by considering these sign conventions. And therefore some of these sign conventions are as follows. First, all the distances are measured from the optical center or pole of a lens or mirror. So in this diagram there is a lens or a mirror, then all the distances will be always measured from the optical center or this pole, that is center of that curvature of the mirror, will be measured. Then second, the ray diagram should be drawn in such a way that the incident rays travel from left to right. So while drawing the ray diagrams or the figures, the incident rays must be always drawn starting from left ending to right. So all these incident rays will be drawn from left to right of that lens or the mirror. Then a diverging beam of light rays represent light coming from the real point object. So in this diagram A, these are the diverging rays of light which form the beam of light, so that it will originate from this real source. On the other hand, a converging beam of light will represent the virtual object, that is the virtual point object. So in this second diagram B, this will represent the converging beam. All these rays are converging, and therefore here there will be virtual source, virtual point source of the light for the mirror. Similarly, sometimes there will be a parallel beam of light. So that parallel beam of light will represent an object which is at infinity. So for example, the beam of light coming from the sun to the earth, as sun is at infinite distance from the earth, therefore the beam will be parallel, that is rays of light will be coming from the sun parallel to each other. Now a real object should be shown to the left of the pole. A real object should be shown to the left of the pole and a virtual object to the right of the pole. So here, if you consider the optical center or the pole of the mirror, then at that time the real source will be directed towards the left and the virtual source will be directed towards right. Then next sign convention will be x-axis can be chosen as the principal axis with origin at the pole or the optical center of the lens. So this line, the central line, will represent x-axis. It will be taken as the principal axis for this lens. Similarly, this line, this horizontal line, will be also considered as principal axis for this mirror. Then next sign convention will be regarding the distances. So the distances to the left of the pole are taken as negative and the distances to the right of the pole are considered as positive. So the distances towards left side will be taken as negative and distances towards right side of the pole or the optical center will be taken as positive. So this distance is towards right, therefore it will be taken as positive. This distance is towards left side of the lens, therefore it will be taken as negative. Similarly, the distances above the principal axis are taken as positive and the distances below the principal axis will be taken as negative. So if you consider this principal axis, then above this the distances measured will be taken as positive and below it will be taken as negative for lenses as well as mirrors.